We are speaking today with Miss Erlette Thomas, who is the assistant principal at Stella Maris School in Belize City. And Ms. Thomas will tell us a little about her background, and then I have some special questions to ask her for teachers who have a special needs child in the classroom. Ms. Thomas, could you give us a little bit about your background in education?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bill. I have been working with special education for the past 16 years. My studies stem to University of the West Indies, where I did a course, a year-and-a-half course in the teaching of hearing impairment. And then I studied in the University of the West Indies again, and I did managing learning difficulties. From 1992, I have been here, and I've worked with children who are deaf and children with other disabilities. Just since the past 2 years, I've been the vice principal of Stella Maris School.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're finishing up your master's degree in special education, is that correct?
Yes, this is my last semester. I'm doing that through the University of North Florida, and my last course is online, so right now I'm working on that.
Well, you certainly have enough experience, and you certainly have the latest in the way of expertise. Could I ask you, Ms. Thomas, the question I'm posing to you is, if a teacher had a student who she thought had some kind of problem, what would you recommend? In other words, this teacher doesn't have any background like you do. I mean, you just are a couple of months away from your master's degree in special education. But some teachers in Belize have very little background in special education. What would be your recommendation to a teacher who thought she had a problem student?
Well, one of the first things I'd advise that teacher to do is to confirm her suspicions. And in order to do that, she'd have to do some research by finding out where she can get help. In each district, there are education office, and they can get help from there. Then have the child do an assessment, and then that will confirm what type. They need to find out what type of special needs the child has in order to get help for the person. And by finding that out, then the person will be able to get research, by finding that out, that the person will be able to get more information on how she as the teacher can help that individual. That's one way I would ask the teacher to approach something like that. And also, there are other teachers on your staff. You have principals. You just reach out to somebody, anybody, because in places like Belize, you know that getting help might take some time. So if you're going to reach out, you can reach out to your principal. Probably she has some knowledge, or if she doesn't have knowledge, she knows someone within the community or the district who can actually give some insight into it.
You probably have seen situations where a teacher had a child with a problem, and she was doing some things that, just by lack of her knowledge, not because she's a bad person, but she was doing the wrong things. What are some mistakes that are common for teachers without your background working with a child with special needs?
Okay, some common mistakes are, one example I'd like to use is working with children who are hearing impaired or hard of hearing. Some teachers will just start shouting at the children, or tell them they're lazy, or their head is hard, not knowing that the child has a hearing problem. And that can demoralize the child, and the child lacks motivation. Now, when you meet a teacher like that, first thing, if you notice you're teaching, you're talking, and a child is not paying attention, the child is always gazing, turning one ear to the teacher, then those are some signs you need to look for. And when you find those signs, then you talk to the child. The more you know your students, the better it is for you.
Well, you're just a wealth of information. I'm going to ask you one more question, and this is a very common one in Belize among teachers. What tips, if any, I'm not sure if you have the answers here, for getting parents involved with their children?
Okay, that is a very biggie here. One way you can get parents involved in with your students' life. When I used to be in the classroom, what I do, communication is the key. Everything you do in your child's book or in your student's book, you write a note to the parent. Today we are doing such a thing, and we expect that you help us by probably helping to potty train your child. And if you communicate constantly with the teacher and with this parent, and the parent is not responding, then you just do a follow-up. Give the parent a call. And one other thing we did a few years ago, we went to the parent, we visit the parent, and we went to each house and we discussed the child, what the child is doing, what we expect from you, and then that will help the parent to know that the parent is a part of the educational system, because we cannot do it ourselves. You need parental support.
Ms. Thomas, I can't thank you enough, and I wish you the best of luck with your new degree, which is just about in your hands in a couple of months. And I just want to tell you how wonderful it's been working with you for the past 3 years. Hope there's 3 years ahead of us. You take care now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.